become the next president of the United States of America? You, come here. I got some really secret political knowledge I'm about to share with you. I'm in front of the White House right now, and I got some news I got to tell you. Is God concerned with who becomes the next president? We are in a hot political climate, a political season that is going to determine where we go as a great nation. Should we as Christians be pouring our life and energy in who becomes the next president of the United States? Okay. Closer. Remember the 5th of November. Trump, Kamala, they are head to head. They're the last two standing that are squaring off. Breaking news. It's already been determined who's going to win. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Morning Coffee and Bible. I am your host, Brandon Fogal. Thank you for dropping in today. We are going to talk about, since we are in the political season and the election is nearing for the next president of the United States, I wanted to bring this up. Normally, I don't talk about politics on this show. I don't want to cross the streams, if you're familiar with Ghostbusters, about talking about Jesus and God, and then also talking about politics. And I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always aware of politics in general. I wasn't aware that people get so upset about it. And I think a lot of Americans are like that. They do not think of politics as something to get all up in arms about. It's just kind of in the background. They're more focused on their day-to-day work, and they're focused on sports or whatever they have going on in their life, and let those people in Washington take care of them. They got it all under control, and they don't even think about it. It's just in the background. So like I said, normally I do not like to talk about politics on this show, just because it can definitely turn people off when you even kind of bring it up, but I'm not going to take a position on anything, I'm going to be like Andy Bernard. I'm not taking a position. I'm just telling you and just talking about it, because politics is a part of life. It's something that we all have something to do with, and something that confronts us every now and then. So I'm only going to talk about it in the reference of, I know, and as Christians, we got some inside knowledge. We got some, now I don't know about secret. It's kind of manifest out there. Anyone that's got a Bible has this information readily available. But it is this wisdom and knowledge that we have readily at our fingertips, that those who are in authority, those who are put in positions of power, are put there by God himself. And he is the one who decides and determines who is going to be the next king, who is going to be the next governor, who is going to be the next president. He is the one who decides and determines. As people on earth, we are making choices. We think we're deciding this, we're deciding that, we're putting our hand in it, and we're doing this and that. But really, behind the scenes, God's providence is the one who is guiding all things. And however someone ends up in a position of power, we can always, as believers, and I speak to believers, and I almost speak to people that don't know about Christ, don't know about God's word, that I'm speaking to everyone, because the same reality exists for everyone. But it's just believers, they kind of have the awareness that Jesus is on the throne, but everyone else they don't have that realization yet. So in today's episode, I am going to share with you several powerful passages from Scripture that demonstrate the undeniable truth that God is the one who appoints rulers and puts those in authority and puts those in power, whether it's kings, whatever, we don't really have kings as much, but some places do still. In our lifestyle, the president almost kind of functions as a king in a sense, that's the closest thing we have to a king these days, in America. And actually, what I'm going to be reading to you today, I don't do this that often, but I am going to be reading to you from the King James Version. Sometimes I read from the New King James and the NASB. These are just different translations of the Bible. But the King James Version, that has that old, eloquent English in it. So I'm going to read from that. Sound a little bit smarter than I really am. First passage, Daniel 2:21. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So there in that passage, it talks about he raises, the eths and all that, the setteths, we don't really speak like that as much anymore. I need to start speaking more like that, but He removeth kings and he setteth up kings. He puts those in power. That's the first one we point out. All right, next, Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. So in this passage, Paul reminds us of the existence of those who are in authority, that they are specifically put there of God's choice. And this was him writing during Rome thousands of years ago, and these would have been very corrupt institutions. So right here in this passage, Paul reminds us that the existence of authority comes from God, and those who are in power have specifically been put there by God himself. So we can be at peace knowing that no matter how corrupt those above us are, God has put them there. We can rest assured in that. All right, next verse, Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So that's pretty interesting to think about, that no matter who's in authority, God has control of their heart. Think about back in when Egypt in the Bible with Pharaoh. Pharaoh was the most powerful person on earth. No matter how powerful a human being is on earth, God has their heart in his hand, and he turns it whichever way he wants. So no matter the decisions that even somebody in power that's doing that, God is behind the scenes. He has the ability. It says that the king's heart is like a stream of water, and he turns it whichever way he wants. So God is the one who's in control of whoever's in authority, whether it's someone very high up, the president of the United States, or whether it's, your boss at work. Everyone that's in authority and put over you has been put there specifically by God. That's not to say that they are a good human being or that they are not corrupt or they're doing the right thing. That doesn't matter. People are people, but God is the one who puts people wherever they are. And he is the one who is over all of them. All right, next, Psalm 75, 6-7. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So you want that promotion at work? You're going to get that promotion at work if God has decided you're going to get it. Ultimately, God is the one who puts someone there or who doesn't put someone there. And if someone gets a promotion and you don't get it, that's the thing, to be at peace, but also be joyful for someone else. So this passage shows that it is not by chance or human effort that someone gets that promotion and gets put in that position, but it is solely determined by God himself. All right, next, 1 Samuel 2, 7-8. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. No matter what position somebody has in life, whether they are the executive of a huge company or whether they're a beggar on the street, God is the one who puts people everywhere that they're at. People carry out and make choices, and their choices determine the course of their life. But ultimately, God is the one who's behind it all. God is the one who gives someone the ability to do those great things, or someone that doesn't have the ability not to be able to do those great things, So God doesn't just deal with the powerful, but with the humble and lowly. He sees the things that are unseen to our human eyes. He sees what's behind people's hearts. All right, this is the last verse we're going to look at, Jeremiah 27:5. I have made the earth, the man and the beast there upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. So I don't usually go through the King James version, because that's why we have the newer versions. People kind of dismiss and say, well, there's so many different translations of the Bible. How do we know which one's right? Well, a lot of things, it's like the human language evolves, so there is we need to have things make more sense in our colloquial language. And that's why we have newer translations. The substance of the Bible, it does not change. All right, I just had to say that because I don't normally read from the King James version, but I wanted to today. Actually, I got deeper issues. But okay, I wanted to read through the King James version because I haven't set up my other versions yet on eSword. Full disclosure, I have not set up my other versions on eSword, and I need to figure that out. I need to figure out how to get those other versions, the other translations. That's the truth finally comes out. I tried to keep it together through this episode. I tried my hardest. I did my best. All right, I did my best. All right, so I did all this to say I wanted to bring up that as we near the election, as we get closer to it, normally I don't talk about this stuff, politics on this show, Morning Coffee and Bible. I try to keep them separate, but it was on my mind, and I thought I wanted to bring it up for the mere fact, not to endorse someone, not to promote someone, not to say choose Kamala or choose Trump or choose whoever the parties put forward. That's irrelevant. And ultimately, God is the one who is going to put in power who he has already chosen to be there. How it all shakes out, it's yet to be seen by us. It's already determined in the heart and mind of God, but it will unfold right before our eyes, and we can be at peace with whoever ends up being there. Whoever ends up being the next president of the United States, we can be at peace in it. Do our best, and try to do what's good, do what God puts on our heart to do for his kingdom, and whether that is in politics or not. Everyone out there, you choose who God puts on your heart and who you believe you should vote for. Go with that, So I'll leave you all with that. Go with God. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all in the next one.
So we hold on and enjoy the ride. After all
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to me, and it helps keep the content coming. Until next time, stay blessed and keep shining.